Language builds a trap. We name a stone, an apple, a pocket watch, and naturally assume the universe is a warehouse holding these finished items. Philosophers call this substance metaphysics. It assumes that solid things are the absolute baseline of existence. If one of those things happens to move, or rust, or grow, we treat that change as an optional accident occurring over a background timeline. In the 1920s, a mathematician and philosopher named Alfred North Whitehead realized this vocabulary was backwards. He argued that actuality is a becoming. The universe doesn't contain static items that occasionally undergo change. The reality we inhabit is a single, ongoing field in act. Change isn't an event that happens to matter. Change is the only material there is. To accurately read modern physics and our own biology, we have to unlearn the illusion of solid objects. We have to stop looking at the universe as a collection of nouns and start seeing it as an ongoing verb. If there are no static items, we have to rethink what an apple, a stone, or a human body actually is. Look closer, and an object is a stabilized pattern of co-change. It is a highly coordinated, ongoing event. A living body or a physical structure survives strictly by replacing its components and correcting deviations. It actively rejects disruptions to maintain a coherent form. This applies across all scales. Look at the Andromeda Galaxy. It appears in our telescopes as a fixed landmark, but it is a massive, slow-motion pattern of co-change, a continuous, swirling process holding itself together. Everything from a pebble to a star is a doing rather than a being. The solidity we feel is an illusion produced by relentless, perfectly coordinated activity. If a thing isn't a solid substance occupying space, how does it prove it actually exists? A pattern exists by making a difference. This happens through what we call the meeting engine. Two patterns interact, register a difference, and leave a stabilized mark of that collision. This maps directly onto relational quantum mechanics. Physicist Carlo Rovelli and others have established that a system doesn't have a specific state in isolation. Properties like mass or momentum only emerge as relational outcomes of these physical meetings. No interaction, no value. There are no free-floating properties hiding inside objects. To be real is simply to be entangled in this cosmic web of difference-making interactions. This brings us to the ultimate noun we have to unlearn: time. We imagine a universal, invisible master clock ticking away in the background, pushing a present moment forward along a track. This diagram shows what physics actually tracks. It's a comparison between two oscillating physical patterns, a swinging pendulum and a pulsing wave. We extract a mathematical ratio between them. This is ledger time, or the Tau schema. Time is strictly an accounting method we use to compare the rate of one physical process against another. Clocks do not read an invisible substance called time. A clock only measures its own internal physical changes. Albert Einstein proved this over a century ago. Relativity tells us there is no preferred, universal frame of reference. Because there is no master clock, any measurement of time is local and entirely dependent on the path an object takes through space. Time doesn't flow or push us forward. It is the mathematical ratio we extract when we compare how different patterns change relative to one another. If there is no timeline and no container of time, where do our past memories and future expectations actually exist? What we call the past is not a place behind us. It is a collection of maintained records existing right now. Look at this image of the SN 1987A supernova remnant. This astronomical record exists in our current sky solely as a downstream consequence of a prior meeting. Fossils, scars, and starlight are all physical traces held in the ongoing configuration of the universe. The same logic applies to what we call the future. It is not a destination waiting ahead of us. It consists of standing dispositions existing right now, a loaded spring, a sequence of genetic code, or a gravitational pull. These are potentials poised to shape whatever happens next. Past and future are functional roles. They are simply records and potentials embedded entirely within the single, ongoing activity of the present moment. We live in a universe without a static inventory and without a ticking master timeline. There are only patterns marking one another. You are an active participant in this continuous generation of reality. Your body is a dense network of these ongoing meetings, constantly exchanging records and shaping potentials within the unified field in act. You are not a noun sitting in a cold, static universe. You are a verb, an ongoing, self-correcting pattern inextricably linked to the continuous act of reality itself.